Hey guys, Zach here. I know it's called football. It was such a crazy game, dude. Um, I wish I would have gone to the Arsenal bar here in the city, because I watching this game alone, despite how fantastic that win was and that game was, it sucks watching it alone. And I had so much shit to do this morning, but it's not about me, dude. It's about the 3 points, putting Arsenal back at the top of the league, finishing off Liverpool in style. So many babies bitching and moaning on Twitter, especially today, and oh, I'm loving it. Seeing this Liverpool dethronement. Another nail put it in that coffin by Arsenal today, and a lot of people thinking this was the ultimate test. And even now, I've already seen we're 10 minutes after the final whistle. Um, and I'm saying, oh, everyone can beat Liverpool and Liverpool this and that, but I'll tell you what, those players are the same players that won the league there and have won the Champions League. This is the same manager, and yeah, they haven't had a fantastic start to the season as you would have expected, but guess who has? Arsenal have, and that is now 8 wins and 9, no loss. Excuse me. Oh man, do I wish that was true. The one loss to Man United. Other than that, we would have been perfect. And the football those boys played today, it was just phenomenal. So many players stood out. Lots of questions being asked, obviously, at the decision to play Tomiyasu at left back, despite the fact Tierney was on the bench. Zinchenko obviously out injured again, which is such a shame. Obviously you can't change anything now because the game's over. We've won the game. We deserve to win the game. Jamie Carragher has said it himself. Gary Neville has said it as well. Lots of people already have said that Arsenal have deserved to win this. It's true, man. You look at opinions on other people online, and I've got people DMing me and coming after me because I'm excited that we've won the football match and gone top of the league. And it's like it's this desperate clawing attempt to rip you down. And I'll tell you what, it'll take a lot more to rip me down from this pedestal than a bunch of weirdos on Twitter. I'll say that much. And obviously, the opinion of some of the ex footballers like Carragher and like Neville saying how much Arsenal, do deserve the win. Rivals against Arsenal for their clubs, Liverpool and United, and that tells you everything you need to know about this Arsenal team and just how well we played. So, some things in question when I see the way Gabriel again dealt with that hospital pass from Alexander Arnold, and the ball had direction and it was meant to be there, but it's just we're lucky, I think, to get away with that goal that they scored. Gabriel really should just be clearing. I don't know why he's trying to take a touch under pressure like that. He's got two men around him. The goals that Liverpool scored today were all very, very clinical. You have to say, and again, this brings to my point. This is Liverpool. This isn't some B team for Liverpool, anything like that. Same coach. These players are all fantastic. They played some very good football today. And again, Arsenal were better at the end of the day. And despite that little mistake from Gabriel, I thought after that he did a fantastic job of shoring up, that front line from Liverpool. Diego Jota loves scoring against us, and I hate playing against him. Firmino obviously took his goal really, really well. He also loves the goal against Arsenal. Mohamed Salah was kept pretty quiet throughout the game. In fact, was taken off later in the second half. And look, Gabriel Martinelli is perhaps our best player. Perhaps that's a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but I haven't seen this enthusiasm, this drive, this will to just take the team forward no matter what. And it's impossible not to follow that when you see the effort he's making, the way he moves and runs and comes back on defense. I mean, it's not just him, obviously. Gabriel Jesus late in the second half is playing left back, making a clearance of almost a sure goal if it would have dropped to, I think it was Harvey Elliott. I'm not quite sure. The elbow he took to the face, the beating Gabriel Jesus took, and the fact that he's being subbed off in the 91st minute and he's jogging right over to the fourth official to keep pestering them. And, we don't know what they're asking, but you have to say the attitude of this player, it's amazing. that this guy plays for Arsenal, and what he cost as well. When you look at Darwin Núñez, the embarrassment doing that Mbappe celebration, pretending like Arsenal fans are crying. It's 1-1. There's 70 minutes of football left to play. This guy scored one goal. You see the way he sighs, the sigh of relief, because the expectation and the pressure on him is way too much for him to handle. This £100 million price tag that Liverpool have played for him to come over to the Premier League to do nothing of value. I mean, the goals he scored, they haven't led to Liverpool winning a game. And yes, he scored in goals that they've won, but he hasn't been the difference maker, I have to say. So, good job to him. He scored a goal against Arsenal, and it came back and bit him in the ass, as karma does. And she is sweet when it does play out in karma's favor, really. Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli again, fantastic. I can't speak highly enough of him. Odegaard really should have put that chance away to make it 3-1, and that 2-2. It feels twice as bad when that happens, when you should have scored. I mean, I think he had all the time in the world really to sink that, and despite how but you can't even knock Odegaard for that, because the way he finds people on the pitch, again, it's so hard not to compare him to Ozil, but they are similar. I think Odegaard has the potential to be a better player than Ozil, especially under a team like this, when he is just that pinpoint, and he'll lead these players to more big wins like this. And you have to remember that he is the captain of this football club, and he's a young man still, and he is dragging is the wrong word, but motivating this team of young players to get behind him. And you can see that these players now, I don't think they need a leader to be telling them what to do on the pitch, because they've been told enough now, and they know to follow players like Odegaard, players like Granit Xhaka and Gabriel Jesus, who's just come into this team this summer, which is crazy to think the way he's settled here. And these players are just going to go right out and do their job. And Mikel Arteta got everything spot on. The substitute, I was screaming for Rob Holding to come onto the pitch. And I was sort of asking myself, well, who would you bring off? You don't want to take off Saka yet, because you can still, catch Liverpool on the break. No way in hell you bring off Gabriel Martinelli. He is just too important. He is just having a fun out there. Remnants of Alexis Sanchez, just brilliant player. Martinelli, I fucking love this kid, man. I really, really do. Granit Xhaka, another player who just was fantastic today, not letting anything really get to his head, apart from that stupid attempt to bring back Alisson when he was trying to kick. I don't ever want to see a player do that. If you get booked for that, God forbid, you're shown a second yellow card. It is just stupid. And to be fair, I did think Arsenal got away with a couple things here and there. No, not the penalty shout on Gabriel. I mean, his hand is 2 inches from his body. The ball is kicked at him at just cannoned at his arm. I don't know what you expect him to do. That rule had changed, so I don't know what people are so pissed off about. You cannot call that a penalty. So lots of people mad and salty and crying about that as well. But look, like I said, Arsenal are the better team. The better team. Saka coming up. And the fact that he's taking these penalties now just shows you how strong this young man is. The mentality you have to miss that penalty during the Euros. I mean, anyone else perhaps wouldn't have been able to bring themselves back. And the support he got from English fans, Arsenal fans in general, he's just built himself back up and just become even harder. He's calloused himself against that horrible missed penalty that you have to think. I'm sure he still thinks about it, but elite mentality like Bukayo Saka at that age, he's just such a fantastic player, man. I pray to God he signs a contract extension. Gabriel Martinelli and William Saliba, who again was fantastic today, Rolls Royce in that defense. Benjamin White, brilliant today. Tomiyasu as left back. You wouldn't have even known that he'd not never. Of course, he's played there and had some minutes there on Thursday night as well. But specifically known as a right back, but just so versatile and you wouldn't have seen the difference. He was so comfortable over there at left back, and the decision to keep Tierney on the bench obviously worked out. I think Tierney a little more ambitious and to move forward, and you didn't really need that against this Liverpool team because they are so strong defensively, especially with Mohamed Salah there on the wing, who was just kept quiet all game, and it was so fantastic, man. I am like it means so much now to win, and now 14 points ahead of Liverpool. Last season we finished 26 points behind them, and look, we've been tested now. We've been tested against Tottenham. Um, we've been tested against Liverpool as well, and we've won both of those games. And that Man United game just seems more and more. It's just brutal that we lost that game. So many things went wrong. But again, this young manager, this team, they are learning every single day. And I don't know who isn't behind Mikel Arteta now. You hear that stadium, that Emirates Stadium, absolutely thundering during the entire match. These supporters, man, they are the best supporters in the world. They are so loud, so supportive, singing the names of these players, singing the manager's name. It is just a terrifying place to go to now. 8 games won in a row at the Emirates Stadium. This team is something else, man. They really, really are. I look forward to every single game now, every game, Thursday night, on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. I'm so happy that this team is really, really coming together. It is so fluid, the football that we play. It's so attractive. And despite all the shit that you hear about other teams, Arsenal are right up there this season, and who would have guessed that we are continuing to test ourselves and overcome those tests, against other teams in the Premier League. The big test, obviously, Manchester City when that game comes around. It's going to be the biggest game of the season. I don't think anyone is doubting now that if Arsenal can keep this winning run and up until Christmas through the World Cup, come back in January, keep yourself first place or second place, keep yourself within 2-3 points of Manchester City, up until January, February, then I think you have to consider Arsenal massive title contenders against Man City. And there's no coincidence that Mikel Arteta spent time at Man City. That he spent time with players like Gabriel Jesus, players like Zinchenko. Learned so much from Pep Guardiola. One of, if not the best manager in the world. And it's going to be a real test. Every game is a test, obviously, in the Premier League. But this manager, this team, I don't even know if I can say they're defying expectations, other than just really, really putting it to teams and showing them what they're capable of doing. I don't know if there's really any Arsenal fans that aren't backing the manager at this point. I suppose I'm sure there are, but they're most likely trying to get views on YouTube videos. So I will leave it at that, guys. I'm so excited for this team and what's to come. Despite everything, despite the finish last season, how disappointing that was, this team is very, very, very special, and I can't wait to see what's next in the next game. So thank you very much for watching. If you've made it this far, guys, I do really appreciate it, and I will see you when I see you.